everyone, and welcome to Justice for All. I'm your host, Casey Price, and this show is dedicated to shining a spotlight on some of South Jersey's amazing attorneys so they can discuss important legal issues that affect you and the people you love. Today, I'm joined by my good friend, Michael Dansky. Michael is the managing partner of Dansky, Katz, Ringgold & York in Marlton, New Jersey, although they do have offices in other places here in New Jersey. And Michael focuses his practice on nursing home negligence, nursing home personal injury. So let's turn the spotlight on Michael, ask him to share all sorts of information about nursing home negligence and everything you do. So Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Casey.
It's
always nice to spend time with a wiser and older attorney.
Yes. The fact that I used to always be the youngest guy in the room, and not so much anymore, right? Well, maybe this room, well, not quite, all right. But anyway, Mike, thank you again, and let's jump in, because the one thing I always want to do, we're going to talk about the law, we're going to talk about what you do specifically with nursing home negligence, but let's talk for a minute about you. Because you have a great story, and tell us a little bit about what is it that drove you to be an attorney? Because you stand up for people here. What got you to do that?
Otherwise I'm trying to make my mommy happy. I knew all along I wanted to be. Law was attractive to me. There were so many facets. I could do so many different things. And when I was 19, I started a business in New York when I was in college. And it was a travel business for students to go to Fort Lauderdale and spring breaks and things. And we had 42 schools by my senior year, and I sold it. And I had an opportunity to go to law school, and I was going to try it. And I wound up meeting a municipal court judge at the Bar Association outing who made me a job offer, which was ridiculous at the time. But I took it. He had me work in the summers, and I enjoyed it. But they did divorce work, and I didn't enjoy that.
Right.
But they had one file that was a negligence file. None of the other attorneys knew what to do with it. So I volunteered. I did my research. I talked to more experienced attorneys, and I loved it. I loved the idea that we're using our talents to help victims.
Yes.
In divorce, you're part of the problem, even if you don't want to be, and you had a bill, and you had to work with that, and people that couldn't afford it. When you're dealing with victims, there's so many different levels, and it's very rewarding. I enjoy it, even to this day.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about fulfillment, how that's the most important thing when you're working, is to feel fulfilled when you go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's what we teach our kids, right?
Absolutely.
Do something you love. Don't worry about everything else.
Yeah. So now you took that negligence, that personal injury. If I guess that's you're saying negligence, just to make sure everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. That negligence, personal injury, and started to go real narrow with nursing home negligence.
Well, we have. Half our practice is still traditional personal injury. Auto accidents, medical malpractice, slip and falls, construction, dog bites. Those are things where most of the people have, their wages they got to make up, their medical expenses, and you're helping them. It's not as life-altering when they lose a spouse, a child. It takes it to a different level.
Yes.
You're not just telling them they're getting money. You're helping them emotionally get from one point to the next and get their life however they can do that together. Yeah. And when we saw what was going on in the nursing home industry, insurance companies run this country.
Right.
And if anybody's ever had a problem with their health insurance getting medical, they know what I'm talking about. It was real attractive, and my partner Michael Ringgold heads up our nursing home litigation department. And you're helping people that can't, even families that can't help themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the most vulnerable people are those that are lying there in need of round-the-clock assistance.
Right.
And when they're let down, it can be devastating.
Oh, families feel guilty when really you can't take care of grandmom or your mother, and you put them in a facility, and unfortunately it doesn't always work out. But there's a lot of things going on. I mean, in your business is the same. Law is a way to make social change, and you're hoping that making the public more aware of what's going on, it will get better.
Yes.
In the past, it just doesn't happen. So we pride ourselves on doing that. We have 24/7 access to us, and everybody knows they can get a hold of us and talk to us. It may not even be about a particular issue. Sometimes someone just needs to vent.
Yes. Yeah. So and now you've having seen the worst of what can happen in the nursing home. It gives you a broad perspective to look at the whole issue, right? From the time someone moves in all the way to the end. I mean, so you really are someone that people can, you've helped people all the way through the process.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even before the process, making the decision. There's a lot of sites on the internet, fortunately, where you can look to see ratings on nursing homes, what the government provides. You can call my office and get those information. Choosing a nursing home, if the family's lucky enough to have people close by, they go to the nursing home. Just don't go to the lobby. Look and see with the hygiene. Look and see, especially if you're putting mom in one where this may not be her doctor. Talk to the doctor, talk to the staff, and try to get a feel. It's not absolute, but it's better than nothing.
Absolutely, and well, it's not absolute, absolutely. Michael, this is great. We have a whole lot more we need to talk about, but we're gonna take a quick break. So stay tuned here. We'll be right back with more Justice for All with Michael Dansky in just a moment.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to jumpstart sales.
Build attendance for an event.
Help people find their way. Fast Signs design new directional signage.
And got them back on track. Get started at fastsigns.com.
Welcome to Live Better Longer, the show for baby boomers who want to improve and even extend their retirement years. I'm your host, Bill Borton. On Live Better Longer, our viewers meet and learn from a wide variety of experts and thought leaders who share their knowledge on subjects ranging from portfolio management to nutrition management, from insurance, Social Security, and reverse mortgages, to annuities, Medicare, and Roth IRA conversions. Not just thought-provoking and actionable information, but why it's important to you. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 on RBN TV for reliable and unbiased information from experts in their field who are committed to helping you live better longer.
Is your business growing and now you need a new and bigger building? Has your organization outgrown their facility and now it's time to expand? Do your hobbies require the need for more space? If you're paying rent, but now you want the advantages of owning, the prospect of financing, construction, and on-time completion may seem out of your reach. General Steel Corporation has the answer. A pre-engineered steel building from the General will not only look great and satisfy almost any need, but you'll save time and money. Our team will help you create your building and deliver it to your location. We offer design services to help you present your concept to board members, bankers, or for fundraising. And the General can even help with financing. General Steel is a name you know, with quality backed by a 50-year structural warranty. Call today and find out how easy it is to have the building you want. You may even save up to $20,000 with rebates. If you need space, you need the General.
Hi, I'm Christine Patton, the Juice Girl. The Champion Juicer has been my juicer of choice for years. Whether I'm making a glass of juice or a large batch of juice for my juice bar. These juicers are simple to use and so easy to clean. Champion juicers are masticating, cold-pressed juicers. Two models are available, the Classic 2000 and the new Elite 4000. Besides juicing, both models can make frozen fruit, smoothies, nut butters, sauces, and even baby food. The Elite 4000 Champion Juicer also excels at juicing greens and wheatgrass. These juicers deserve to be called the world's finest. For more information, please visit my website at juicegirlpharmacy.com or championjuicer.com.
Welcome back once again to Justice for All. I'm Casey Price, and I'm joined today with my guest, Michael Dansky, the managing partner at Dansky, Katz, Ringgold in York. And Michael, one of the things I wanted to point out before we jump further into nursing home issues is I get your newsletter, and I love it. I love it. You know, your newsletter and the relationships, I have to imagine that you build and or solidify through that is just great. It feels like it's like I'm getting it from a family friend.
Yeah, I mean, the clients love that. They love that they're involved, that we're just not throwing information out and mounts of verdicts and things of that such. And I think one of the strengths of the firm is we try to treat them like family. Our employees, I have secretaries, one's been there 38 years since I started, and 2 have been over 20 years. You'll see her in the newsletter this month. And it's important for them to feel comfortable. They're so used to being shuffled, especially in our nursing home stuff, because they're going to be involved in a lot of different avenues and facets where they have to go and who they have to meet with, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. People often take for granted how when you create a great work environment for the people you work with, it really is felt by the clients. The clients know it when they walk in the door. This is a good place. It feels right. It feels good.
And it's important to them to know if they can call at 3 in the morning, if God forbid something's going on, you know, it's their mother. You want to respond to them, and it's part of the culture of the business that we're in.
Yeah. Well, you do such a good job of helping people after the problems occur, but yet you have such great information that you can share with people to try and avoid problems and try and teach them again what to look for when their loved one's moving into the nursing home.
I think it's important. We touched on it briefly. A lot of times they have no estate planning. They don't. We're not estate attorneys. I would send them to a price because they have to know what these changes mean. How does it affect their Medicare, Medicaid benefits? How does it affect their benefits in the future? You know, everyone runs around thinking they have to sacrifice all their assets, and there's a certain level of planning. Surely you want to do it prior to them needing a nursing home, but it's important that that conversation happens. But they have to understand that there's laws to protect the dignity and the rights of the residents, whether it's a nursing home or an assisted living facility. New Jersey has strong laws. Federal government has strong laws. You're supposed to have a resident that feels safe and secure in that environment. And unfortunately, they'll notice that there are problems. You know, there's understaffed. And when it is staffed, it's the lower level, untrained people watching 42 highly needy patients. Lack of supervision, and even the smallest kind of problems, you know, it looks like a bed sore, a fracture, they aren't always on top of it. Right. Because the majority of people, if you get a call that your great aunt is 97 and she died of congestive heart failure at a nursing home in Chicago, you're not going to say, let me send $3,000, get all her records and see if you broke her hip in the meantime. So most claims aren't made. It's that percentage of families that are fortunate enough to be close enough, and location's important. Yeah. When you're weighing a nursing home, it's not always apples and apples. Location, the ability to drop in and see them is extremely important.
Yeah, putting eyes on your loved one. People think it's money. I have to have a lot of money to get the best care.
Right.
That's not it at all.
No.
It's advocacy. It's stopping by and checking on your loved one. It doesn't even have to be a long visit. I used to do it with my grandmother in assisted living. Every time I would drive by her community, I would park, I'd walk in, I'd sign the book, I'd sneak down the hall because I didn't have time to spend with her, and I'd get my eyes on her, and I'd make sure everything looked good.
Right.
And then I'd leave. And the community knew I was there, other people knew I was there. She may not have because it would have turned into an hour-long visit, but enough people knew that they were always on alert that we might be stopping in at any time.
And there are some good employees, you know, in nursing homes that really care.
Yes.
I wish it was the majority, but there are some good employees that really take an interest. And when they see the family takes an interest, that's important.
Yes.
That's important.
And if you're not near somebody, you can always hire someone to go in and see them. Like geriatric care manager can always lay eyes on your loved one.
There's a lot of guilt involved. You know, the families, you want to take care of them at home, you can't because of, you just can't take care of them. So they're putting them in a facility and they're nervous enough about that. Are they doing the right thing? Their mother wouldn't have done it to her mother kind of issues. So we get a lot of calls from people that there may not be a claim, there may not even be an injury. But we'll take the time to talk to them and answer their questions and try to make them feel comfortable. But during the process of handling a claim, and whether, again, it's a fracture or a pressure ulcer, or things that really shouldn't happen, dehydration, malnutrition, these are ongoing issues that take time to develop. That's really where you start to delve into, through depositions, what goes on and how they don't follow the law. And it could be devastating.
And I guess you have people that come in and say to you, Michael, I should have known. I should have known she was developing a bed sore. I should have known she was dehydrated. And really, they don't. These signs aren't visible to the children outward.
And a lot of times the patient can't communicate. And that makes it always more difficult because you don't know, you want to explain to them why they're there, and you can't. I'd say the majority of our business is a hand-holding business, much like your business. You're not, in our side, the event may have already happened, so you're dealing with that. But it's not a payday for them. It is I feel terrible, I feel guilty. We do a lot of mediations with retired judges to resolve claims where the insurance companies will fly in because they have a feeling that they're getting their day in court. Right. And that's what they want. They just want that kind of, I want to deal with it. And especially if they've lost someone, there's a lot of issues, and they're complex issues.
Well, and you said something a little earlier that I think we need to reinforce, and it is that these things aren't right. A bed sore, a fracture, these don't just happen in most situations. There's something going on that is, it's neglect when a person's developed. A bed sore is preventable, is it not?
When they come into the facility, they have to get, examined, noted, and if there's something there, you got to treat it. To get a bed sore or a pressure ulcer to the size that we see them is unimaginable. The law says they have to be turned every 2 hours, and it's not done. They're hiring not qualified people at a very small wage.
Right. And they don't have the supervision that they need to make sure things are being taken care of.
Right. That's the biggest issue. And you and I have talked about this before in the area of dementia, what you do and what I do. You want to raise public awareness. Yes. You want to, through the law, that's how they do social change. And you want to be part of that because insurance companies rule this country. I mean, that's one of the reasons I enjoy doing what I do, because I get to be the David versus the Goliath.
Yes.
But that's the most rewarding part of it.
Well, Michael, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some tips that people need to know when their loved one is dealing with the nursing home issue or placement or things like that. Because I have a question I want to ask you, but I'm going to hold it till we come back. So stay tuned. We have great stuff coming. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Justice for All.
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to jumpstart sales.
Build attendance for an event.
Help people find their way. Fast Signs designed new directional signage.
And got them back on track. Get started at fastsigns.com.
Welcome to Live Better Longer, the show for baby boomers who want to improve and even extend their retirement years. I'm your host, Bill Borton. On Live Better Longer, our viewers meet and learn from a wide variety of experts and thought leaders who share their knowledge on subjects ranging from portfolio management to nutrition management, from insurance, Social Security, and reverse mortgages, to annuities, Medicare, and Roth IRA conversions. Not just thought-provoking and actionable information, but why it's important to you. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 on RVN TV for reliable and unbiased information from experts in their field who are committed to helping you live better longer.
Is your business growing and now you need a new and bigger building? Has your organization outgrown their facility and now it's time to expand? Do your hobbies require the need for more space? If you're paying rent, but now you want the advantages of owning, the prospect of financing, construction, and on-time completion may seem out of your reach. General Steel Corporation has the answer. A pre-engineered steel building from the General will not only look great and satisfy almost any need, but you'll save time and money. Our team will help you create your building and deliver it to your location. We offer design services to help you present your concept to board members, bankers, or for fundraising. And the General can even help with financing. General Steel is a name you know, with quality backed by a 50-year structural warranty. Call today and find out how easy it is to have the building you want. You may even save up to $20,000 with rebates. If you need space, you need the General.
When did you see?
Welcome back to Justice for All. Right before we broke for commercial, I was asking Michael or giving him a heads up that we're going to talk about something really important that's more of a tip that can kind of, it goes unknown, but can have a huge impact if anything were to happen. And that is that agreement they give you to sign for your loved one when they move into the nursing home.
Yeah.
And there's some traps in there.
Well, it's complicated. You know, if you have a family member, usually someone who's taking the responsibility, the older sibling, the one that lived with her, whatever it may be, and they're now given the burden of having to do all this. And a lot of times the nursing home says, oh, listen, we're going to take care of it, just sign these papers. As the estate attorney, when we send them, we want them to do, you know, they have to have a power of attorney, power of, you know, HIPAA rights, and the ability to communicate, and they're allowed to talk to her about the injuries. But I would never advise a client to sign an agreement to arbitrate.
Okay.
You know, before we talked about mediation once we're in litigation, but you don't want to give up that right. We've fought it a few times, and we've won every one of the times of getting it knocked out for certain legal issues that arise. But you want someone to look at that paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, once they're in that, and when I talk about nursing home, I also mean assisted living facilities. There's different rules as to both. And it's extremely complex for lawyers that do it. You can't leave it to the family to be responsible for that. But the couple points that you want to do, that you're more interested in, is listen to what you hear, look at what you're seeing, you know, process this information. Does this look like a facility? You know, a lot of times they show you the lobby and they say, isn't this great? Look, we have free orange juice. You want to be able to make decisions based on as much information as you have. Mm-hmm. But even if there isn't an injury, you know, our firm deals with everyday calls where people, ex-client of ours or something else, that get referred over, and we can give them that kind of advice. I don't think we have enough time to lay out all the little pitfalls that happen when you don't. In the negligence practice, it's the same. You know, there's liens, there's dates of notice depending upon who owned the vehicle that hurt you, that have to be done in a timely fashion. Nursing home assisted living is the same. The sooner that we get involved, the sooner we can start that investigation. And most of the places, we already had actions against. So we have a bank of information that we know where they're deficient.
No, and that's so important. I mean, people really have to be careful. Going back to that arbitration agreement, they might get a pile of 100 pages, and somewhere in there
it's buried.
Is a paragraph
right.
or a page. Some places have it where you have to initial it. Some places have it in all capital letters. But there's an arbitration agreement in most of these contracts.
Right.
And if they sign that, that means you can't take their case to a judge in court, right? In most situations.
It can make it more difficult.
Okay.
It'll add another process that we have to do before we litigate. We've challenged them. We've won on the challenges. They're, you know, you've seen releases before that you know aren't.
Yeah.
You know, you go into a movie theater. If the building falls down, we're not responsible. Not so true. But it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we have to remember when you're talking to these people, and sometimes you're talking to the patients, they are in an emotional state. You're taking something, they're not going to work, they're not going to take care of their kids, they're missing ball games. There's so much going on. A lot of times families have issues with each other. You know, you got to help me out. There's a lot going on for them to have to sit down and start signing legal documents on behalf of them. But it's important to get us involved early.
Yeah, and they're relying on salespeople who are you want that person to sign those documents and want that loved one to be a person in their community, because that's how the community gets paid and it's how everybody makes money.
That's how they do it.
You really have to be careful when you do that. And assisted living even more, right? Because
Right.
while in a nursing home, they can't make a third party, like a child, promise to pay. An assisted living can.
That's correct.
There are huge traps with these documents.
Right.
So the fact that you've helped people deal with that, that's huge.
It is. And you know, when you're dealing with families, I just can't stress enough the emotional burden on them. That's what you want to remove. You're not going to remove it completely. Mm-hmm. And in litigation, some people think every claim is going to be litigated and they have to go in court. That's not the case. 99% resolve, especially when they know that the law firm does this kind of work. They're not looking to get this out there. Most of the cases that resolve, they will require non-disclosure. They don't want that family talking about it with anybody.
Right.
But we're seeing changes, but I'm dealing with insurance companies. So usually when something's not in their favor, they try to fix it and change it. Our practice here, we have an office in Liberty Place in Center City, Philadelphia, and our practice in New Jersey is much different than the practice in Pennsylvania. The laws are different, the state law. Federal law is the same, but the state laws are different. It takes us all the time to stay on top of it. I can't imagine someone doing it that's never seen a piece of paper like that before.
Absolutely. No, people have to be really careful when they try and do it themselves. They can really foul things up. That's why as soon as they think there's anything going on, they should pick up the phone and call.
I believe so. You just have to understand that that's not their intention. Their intention is, I found a place. The things that I would offer my clients tip-wise is, you're an advocate. Walk in there. You can tell if they're understaffed. You can tell if they're over residents, too many people. You can tell by the nature of it what's going on, and it's important to make your observations. Don't rely on the salespeople to tell you that every Thursday night's chocolate chip midnight, and that's the problem.
Yeah, no, you got to do your own due diligence. And it's hard, but it's rewarding in the end because you gave it everything you could to help your loved one. And you give it everything you can to help people when their loved ones are suffering. I know there's people who have been watching this program who are thinking, I need to talk to him. I need to talk to the members of his firm. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, our main office in Marlton, the phone number there is 856-489-1515. My personal email, which you can always use, is michael@njlegalhelp.com. And if I can't help you, and there's so many different resources we have available to us. It could be helping them select a doctor that we know that's geriatric and elder care, knows what's going on. Those kind of decisions. In our auto cases and our negligence work, we let clients bring, or not even non-clients, bring in their declaration pages from their insurance company because they're buying the wrong coverage. It's the same thing with what they're trying to do and what they're trying to do for their parents, their relatives that are in that situation. So you want to guide them if you can help them. There's plenty of people, unfortunately, that are victims and need the help.
Well, you know what? What's that number once again? It's
856-489-1515.
Michael, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
It was really great. I
Nice
appreciate
seeing
you
you.
taking time out of your day. I know how busy you are. So the fact that you came in here and did this, I'm so
And I
grateful.
have a tie on, everything.
So thanks again,
You're welcome.
and thank you for watching. Now do me a favor, remember this show is based in New Jersey law. The laws in your state may be different. This show is not intended to be legal advice, but rather information so you have a better understanding of how the law works and how it may affect you and the people you love. I can't wait to see you again next week. My name is Casey Price. I'm from Price & Price Elder Law in Haddonfield, New Jersey. Until I have the privilege of talking to you next week, I wish you nothing but the best.